Hello, it is I. Now, if you're watching this video on the day it's uploaded, then you will know that today marks Forza Horizon 5's first birthday. And though the game has a lot of content, it's missing one thing, a storyline. And that got me thinking, how much better would Horizon 5 be if it actually had a storyline? Well, the answer to that is a lot, because here is if Forza Horizon 5 actually had a proper storyline. Now, if you want to see a storyline in Forza, then make sure to obliterate that like button. 4,000 likes is the target, as you may know. Of course, the more likes we get, the more exposure this video would see, and just maybe the developers would listen to us and actually have a story in the next game. Anyways, without further ado, let's get to this video. Okay, now the game starts very similar to how Horizon 5 starts, so you get a little cinematic of what to expect in Horizon Mexico, and it's all very exciting. Then you get dropped out of a plane in the Ford Bronco near the volcano, then you transition to the wide-body Corvette through the sandstorm, followed by driving that off-roading Porsche 911 through the jungle. But all of a sudden, the screen becomes faded. Then there's a bright light that goes brighter and brighter until the whole screen is white and you hear an alarm sound. And that's when you realize it was all a dream. And then you wake up in actual reality, which is set in Horizon Britain. Yep, the map of the old game would be featured during the start of Horizon 5. You have the privilege of driving the hero car all the way to the next Horizon location, which is Horizon Mexico. Okay, yes, I know this isn't an AMD one, but just imagine it is, okay? Anyways, you have a strict time limit to make your way to the airport to catch the flight to Mexico. You race your way there, you see other Horizon racers making their way as well, and once you get to the airport, you get stopped by security at a toll booth. They ask you for your ID, and that is where you get to customize your character. Of course, you can choose their appearance, their clothes, their hairstyle, their voice, their pronouns, their prosthetics, all that good stuff, and a driving license is made with all those credentials. You then make your way onto the plane where you fly all the way to Mexico and begin your new Horizon journey. The plane finally reaches Mexico, the cargo door opens, and you start up the AMG-1. The pilot flares the plane and gets low enough so that the cargo door is scraping the road, and that is where you finally touch down in Horizon Mexico and race away to the festival with all the other festival goers. However, just before you make it to the festival, the car breaks down. Smoke bellows out the engine bay and your throttle doesn't work anymore. Oh well, at least this gives you a chance to use the flatbed truck and drive your way to the festival. After you make your way to the festival, everybody's very disappointed. The hero car's gone to the garage to get fixed and the public won't get to see that when that's meant to be the main highlight of the show. And although the crowd is sad, they're not as disappointed as you because you left your wallet at home, meaning you've come all the way to Mexico with no money. Well, no worries because the new friend Ramiro is here to help. He gives you a selection of 3 fairly low-powered cars to begin your journey in. A 1979 Chevy Camaro, a 1970 Datsun 510, and a 1991 Peugeot 205 Rally. You can only choose one of these cars, you don't receive all 3 at the start like the actual game. After you've chosen your car, you meet a very attractive girl called Alice. She makes her way to your car and gives you everything you need to compete in Horizon. She also lets you know that she's entered you into a race championship where you can get some money. And on top of the money you can earn from the championship, you also get to take part in a showcase event where you race a plane. So you take part in the championship, meaning you have to complete 5 races, and after you won the championship, you get a decent amount of money and of course the invitation to the showcase event. But before you take part in the showcase event, you get introduced to this new character. Her name is Ashley and she's come all the way from Horizon Europe to help set things up in Horizon Mexico. She grants you access into her auto show where you can modify your car with the money you've earned. You can change up practically everything on your car except no engine swaps nor wide body kits at the moment. Right, after you modified your car, Ramiro invites you to stay with him in his house whilst you settle in Mexico. Which is very nice of him, good on you Ramiro. But you can't stay for too long because you my friend have a showcase event to take part in. So you make your way over to the Thayakaran to take part in the showcase event. You are in a Ford Escort rally car and the plane you're racing is the exact same plane that you drove out of. But at the end of the showcase event, you don't get to keep the car. Anyways, after that you take part in another championship in a different part of the map with your newly modified car. After winning your first championship, people begin to realize that you're a bit of a big deal. So this time around you race with pretty competitive cars instead of slow D-class cars. Anyways, after you completed all 5 races and won the championship, you go to the festival with your new best friend Ramiro and you just party. All night long, EDM music blasting, it's a vibe. And during this party you meet an antagonist, Ben from Horizon Europe. He's an 8-year undefeated champion that nobody can compete with. And he's quite an arrogant guy as well who always wants to be the center of attention. He's aware of your recent championships and challenges you to a race to see if you really mean business. But this isn't any old race. This is Goliath, one of the longest races that Horizon has ever seen. So you take part in the race and... yeah. All the other races are overpowered and it's pretty obvious that you do not fit in with the big leagues. So the race ends, you don't win, and Ben being Ben, he taunts you. And that, my friends, is not very nice. So after that, you're feeling down, you still have a slow car and things are not looking good. But then you get a phone call from a guy called Ali. He says that he rates you and he wants you to take part in his street racing scene, but you need to keep it a secret. You then meet up with Ali in person in a top secret location. He introduces you to his friends and shows you what the street scene is all about. He then takes you into the auto show where you can finally engine swap your car. And of course you can finally install a wide body kit onto your car, which makes it look so much more aggressive. You then take part in your first street race and it is instant domination. With a modified car, you are a different animal. In fact, Ali was so impressed that he tells you about a film being shot in a race in Mexico. The directors are looking for a stunt driver and thought that you would be a perfect fit. So you visit the directors in person the following day to see if you had what it took to become a stunt driver. But of course you can't just become a stunt driver by turning up. You had to prove yourself. So they made you do J-turns, they made you drift around roundabouts, they made you swerve in between traffic, etc, etc. Then after all the tests are complete, they are left seriously impressed. And they say they'd let you know if you got the gig in the following days. In the meantime, you now get introduced to Alex, who runs the dirt racing scene. He wants you to take part in the series and prove your worth. Oh, what's that? You don't like dirt racing? Tough luck, man, you're gonna have to do it. But on the bright side, you do get to buy a brand new car for the championship, which is pretty nice. Anyways, after you take part in the dirt races and you win the championship, you get invited to take part in another showcase event. This time you're in an off-roading Ford Bronco and you race against 3 jet skiers, which is pretty cool. Right after you win the showcase event, Ben gets really agitated because he wanted that showcase event. So he challenges you to a dirt race to prove that he's just as good in the dirt as he is on the road. So you race him and guess what? You win! Yep, you actually beat him in a race. But Ben can't accept that, so he makes up excuses that, oh, dirt racing isn't his strong point and it was unfair, Ben's basically a sore loser, that's what I'm trying to say. Anyways, on the drive back, you tune into the radio and there's breaking news. There's a runaway train on the loose and it's dangerous. It has to be stopped ASAP. So you meet up with Ramiro, who's good with computers, and he asks you to drive alongside the train so that he can hack into the train system and get the train to stop. He's trying as hard as he can, but he keeps accidentally disconnecting the carriages, which speeds up the train. He tries again, but another carriage gets disconnected. But eventually Ramiro hacks into the train itself and slows it down to a halt. Horizon Mexico is saved and you and Ramiro are now seen as heroes. In fact, the film directors were even tuned into the news and heard that you helped to stop the train. So they finally accept you as a stunt driver where you can film the real movie with the actual movie car. And what's really cool is at the end of the stunt driver missions, all the replays are saved and edited together so you can actually watch the short film where you were the stunt driver, which is pretty cool to see. You now make your way back to the festival where everybody knows you. You are the talk of the town, not only for stopping the train, but also for featuring as a stunt driver in this film. So you know the drill, you party all night long and celebrate your achievements with your friends. The following morning you receive a call from Ben. He's left a car at the top of the volcano and needs somebody to drive it down. He's offering a big sum of money, upwards of 500,000 credits. You of course say yes and make your way up the volcano. However, there is a problem. A very big problem, and it's the fact that the volcano is about to erupt. It's far too dangerous to drive up there, but 500k is a tasty amount, you know. So you carry on going up the volcano when that's when you realize, hang on, this isn't meant to be a bet. It's a trap. Ben found out when the volcano was going to erupt so he can send me up there and eliminate any competition. Now that is very evil of Ben. What an evil person. However, you actually managed to make it to the top of the volcano, meaning you can retrieve the car and get your 500 grand. Wait, hang on a second. There's no car up here. And now you are furious. You risked your life driving up an active volcano all for nothing. But you're not the only one who's annoyed. One of Ben's former employees, Joel Carter, gets in contact with you talking about how he just got sacked by Ben. He talks about how unlikable and arrogant he is, and he offers you valuable information, as Joel knows where a lot of barn finds are. Barn finds that Ben is on the lookout for right now. So you visit these locations, opening up each barn, revealing a classic car worth millions of dollars. You take each car out and deliver it to a secret location on the flatbed truck so Ben can't take the cars for himself. And now, as you might have guessed, Ben is furious. He's absolutely livid. So he approaches you very passive-aggressively and challenges you for a race. He puts his X-Class car on the line and his house, which happens to be the most expensive house in Horizon Mexico. And this is an offer that you cannot refuse, come on. So you can now spend as much money as you want making your very own X-Class car to compete against Ben with. And once you've done that, you meet up with Ben and you let the race commence. In fact, this is the exact same race where you first raced Ben and lose to him, so this is redemption time. A good few minutes later, you cross the finish line and win the race. Finally, after so much scrutiny, you prove that you are the best racer in Horizon Mexico. And surprisingly, Ben takes his loss pretty well. He congratulates you, hands over his car and his house. He apologizes for the volcano incident and reveals that he has nitrous fitted to all of his cars. In fact, he is the only person in Horizon Mexico that knows how to install nitrous. And as a gift, he provides nitrous in the auto show, meaning you can now buy nitrous and install it onto any of your cars, which is insane. Oh, and as a cherry on top, do you remember that AMG one that broke down at the start of the game? Well, that car is fixed and you receive that as a congratulations present for proving yourself in Horizon Mexico. You also bump into Kira right at the end, who congratulates you and hands over the festival director role to you. So not only are you a Horizon champion, but you are also the director of the festival. And that is when the screen fades to black and the credits roll. Then after the credits roll, boom, you're in a yellow Ford Bronco inside of a plane ready to get dropped. So that dream you had at the start of the game turns into reality. Except this time you don't stop at the Porsche. You go to the AMG one and race all the way to the festival with no engine faults. Then you meet up with Ramiro, Haley and Alejandra, where they unload 3 of your very own cars, just like how Forza Horizon 5 actually starts. And from then onwards, Horizon 5 can resume as it is with a Vocho story, born fast, made in Mexico, etc. Because let's be honest, when you start Forza Horizon 5, it feels like you've completed the game already. So having a story similar to that as a prologue could really help to give the game context and substance. And if there are any Forza developers watching, I really hope this video showed you just how important having a story can be in a racing game like Forza. And also, if you want your boy to direct the next game, then hit your boy up, you get me. Well, hello there, did you enjoy this video? If so, then you might want to watch this video up here, so make sure to get that watch right now. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, then press this button right here. Do it, please. Thank you very much. Anyways, have a good one, guys. Cheers.